Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. But I'm actually 12 hours early today because I'm always late. So my husband and I were talking, like, what should I do? Because I'm always late. So, like, how about I just live stream at night? So it's 12 at night in Japan right now, and my usual set time is noon on every Sunday, but right now it's like it just turned Sunday and it's midnight. Just wondering if people would come. I don't know what you guys are up to on a Saturday morning, but I see a comment here. Hello, Yoko. If you want, I can tell you about France and tell you what the French want and what it is like that. I'm actually very interested in that because I saw the news that there was this 17-year-old, it's said to be Algerian guy that was shot to death by the police. And so basically, BLM French version is going on. Like, as that's the impression that I have because I see all this fire and what you call like vandalizing and people stealing things from stores and so on. So I'm wondering, yeah, like what's behind it, like what kind of motive, and yeah, it's hard to see from the news coverage here in Japan. I am interested in that. Yes. Yeah, I will get to that after I greet to everybody. Sup, Yoko? Sup? Good to see you guys at this hour. Hey, Yoko, good evening. Good evening. You're way early. I know, right? Today I'm early. Just a little too early. I know. But like I'm never late at night, of course, like if I have been up for hours, then I have no problem coming on time, but it's the morning or when I wake up that I can't make it on time, due to my conditions and so on. I actually wake up every day at noon. So that's the live streaming time, it's supposed to be. And yeah, I usually go to bed around, I don't know, I try to go to sleep early, but usually I fall asleep around 2 or 3 or something like that in at night, and then wake up at I saw dust because there's a fan. Yeah, and then I wake up at like noon because I want to sleep like 8 hours. Yes, making coffee for breakfast. Oh, sounds nice. Would you want to make one for me? I love coffee. This is nice. I always miss you on what for me is. Hmm? For me is your very late show on Saturday. Oh yes, 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 yes. I know. Good that you're here. The tables are turned. I usually watch you the next day. Ah, cool. So now, like, I can get to other kinds of people. Anyways, it really is an Ohio. That's true. So Ohio, from the state of Ohio. Ohio. Oh, my internet might be slow. I don't know what it is about our internet. Like, we have to do something. Oh, do you like my new art here? Can you see? It's kind of big, but it's like I wanted it to be more like aggressive, and it was supposed to be like a red fire, but yeah. But speaking of which, it's kind of weird because I kept having this like fire image, in my head for days, and that's why I had to draw something, right? And I ended up like I did use red, as you can see, but it's looking pink though, looking like pink. And then there's France, French people putting fire on everything. It's very upsetting to see all this fire and so on, and I see that lots of policemen are deployed and so on. Yeah, what's going on there? But today, I mean, today is already over. It's July 2nd here in Japan, just turned the 2nd, but July 1st was the 26th, I believe, anniversary of the handover of Hong Kong. And I can't believe that it's been like it's been already 6 years since I visited Hong Kong. I did visit Hong Kong in I mean when it hit the 20th anniversary mark, and people there, my type of Hong Kongers there that seeked for independence, they were treating it like a funeral. It was a time to be very sad and angry and so on. What's the expression that they were using? I can't remember in English, but yeah, it's like a slavery basically. So yeah, I can't believe that time flies like this. And then China renewed their spy law, and it's also been 3 years since the Hong Kong National Security Law was enacted. So, and I read on the newspaper that, which I have right here actually, just read to keep up with what's going on in the world. But I read that, those Hong Kongers here in Japan, this article about Hong Kong, it introduced this one Hong Konger who is living in Japan, but the person had to delete his Facebook account. I think it was a Facebook account. Yeah, Facebook account. And that is because, in the past, the person had posted many pictures and also the slogans about Hong Kong independence, or, something like that. And then now the laws in Hong Kong are getting stronger and stronger by the pressure of CCP. So now, the people around the person told him or her to delete because it's dangerous. You don't want to risk it. So it's sad, to cut all the ties that you have built with people, all the connections that you have, and so on. But I think it's a clever decision, though, because you need to first survive, then think of what you can do. Hello from Germany. Guten Tag. What is good morning? Guten Morgen in Germany. Uh, I took German class in university as my second foreign language because German language sounds so cool. But all I did was sleep. So I never learned anything. But anyway, it is not the BLM version because there aren't any revendication, but the BLM version did try to stick to those people. It's more a tribal reaction because one of their protege did get killed. For the killed person, he didn't cooperate with the police. I almost also must say that he did try to kill two people before getting arrested. What? No driving license, fake immigration. That's really bad. I saw the information though that the those who protested, like I don't even know if it's protest. Like what I see is like riots. So those rioters were their average age was 17, just like the kid that was killed by the police. It's very young. I feel like, it's partially because, like, I mean, you are entitled to your whatever opinion you have about the society and everything, but I feel like all this social media and movies and so on have created this image of protests and how, like, people are justifying violence, and then, for example, when Hong Kongers, when they stood up for their motherland, a lot of people misjudged them, for being like rioters, even though they were the true patriots that were, fighting for their motherland. So, like, I feel like this has become a fashion, and it's very confusing, I must say. Yes. Let's see. Ohio. Man, did you guys see the long line of Trump train people? Oh, speaking of which, I'm on Truth Social. Finally, it's here in Japan, as one of you introduced that to me last week. Thank you for telling me that it's available in Japan now. So I made an account, and I haven't said anything except for hello from Japan. But yeah, I'm really glad that I get to have the information from Donald Trump now again. He needs to still come back to Twitter though. Like, that's very important. Oh, Eric, thank you for your super chat. Thank you so much. Wait, what is happening? I was hoping to catch you tonight. Just heading to bed now. Wishing you and your family well. Oh, thank you so much. You're sleeping now? Why? I'm confused by the time difference and everything. But yes, I'm always late for my live stream. And so I thought maybe if I do it at this time, then more people might come. But I don't know. I know that I need to set a time, like a steady time. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for your super chat. It really helps me. This is what I do. All these political activities are what I do, hopefully for a living. So really, super chat help me. Thank you so much always. I hope that you sleep well. Okay, let's look at other comments. Why is my laptop making the fan noise? I wonder. I can't follow any of this stuff because I don't have a Twitter account, and Twitter now forces you to have an account to view stuff from the platform. Huh, I didn't know. You can't follow any of the stuff. Oh, you mean like the what's happening in France, or? For the French people, even the most lefty composition, LFI, 7 out of 10 want the military to intervene. Wow, the 3 out of 10 are French of paper, third wave immigrants. Ah, I see. Third wave immigrants. Wow. Yeah, my Japanese friend, my old friend got married with a French guy, and she was living in France for a while, after she got married, but then she moved away because it started to get, dangerous, and she didn't feel safe there. And so I kind of heard of what it's like there, but man, what is happening in France? It's so weird. Like, and this reminds me that in Sweden, for example, I read on the newspaper that there were people like burning the kolan. Is it kolan? How do you pronounce it? Kolan. Koran. Koran. Okay, Koran. I was like, is it L? No, it's R. Koran. That people, as a demonstration, they burn the Koran, and then there was something. What did it say? I don't exactly remember. Oh yeah, it's a protest, and they put a fire on Koran, and then Turkey and other Islamic nations are heavily protesting against it. So then it's affecting Sweden on whether or not they can be part of NATO. Like, it's gonna be difficult after this. And this guy is from Iraq. And so basically, so he is Islam, right? Like a Muslim. Man, that's weird. And then we have news about like this new newspaper. It has like American University race prioritized. It's violating Constitution, Supreme Court judgment, and blah blah blah. And Asians are excluded. And then Ukraine, like a long-term support for Ukraine is confirmed. EU, it's about EU. And then Prigozhin support rate 29%. So it's like, and then there's a French article here. So I was just looking through it before I came here. Oh, super chat. Yes, Gary, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you so much. Hey, Yoko, not to get ahead of you, but with the overturning of the affirmative action, it showed me that the left don't know how to deal with Asians. Technically, they are a minority, but they often do better than Europeans in West. That's very interesting. The left don't know how to deal with Asians. That's so true. Like, but I always felt that the Asians are forgotten, in the picture. I don't know how, like, I don't know the percentage of Asian immigrants in the US, but like whenever I look at all these political discussions or debates, regarding race issues, like Asians are supposed to be like a big part of it, but they never get even mentioned, and it's all about basically Black people and Black supremacy, and not about the true equality or diversity. Sometimes I hear like a Latino or Hispanics or so on and so on, but it's like you don't really get to hear about Asians. But Asians, like South Koreans and Black people fought back in the 90s and so on. Like it's supposed to be like a big picture. It should be the like one of the big thing, in the racial debates. But sorry, my internet is slow. Sorry for that. Um, yeah. And it's really like, of course, as Japanese, Japanese people are reacting to this, saying that, this is wrong, the affirmative action is wrong. Like, if you want to get into university, you should just study and be good enough, And if they are to prepare the spot uh, for for Black people, then they should prepare for yellows, yellow people, and so on. Only then it will be fair. But then it should depend on the population. So like it doesn't work that way. Like true equality should mean that you just take the same test and judged in the same way, instead of prioritizing one over the other, you know. Yeah, and Asians I hear are very hardworking, especially in the US, because that's just our culture, even in just generally, Asians, especially East Asians too, or Indians, I guess. Then we are like, we have to have a good, like, we have to be good in education, or else our life will be a disaster. So that's the like a common, common cultural background among the Asians, and we study hard and so on. So Yeah, but thank you so much for your super chat. Oh, Eric again, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you. Man, is my camera slow? Maybe I should change my camera to see. Hmm, how about this? My face look gigantic with this camera, but maybe it's better. Like, I mean, oh, delay wise, am I too close to the camera? Is this better? It's too bright, maybe. Okay. I don't like the color, of the camera, but this doesn't give me delay, so let's go with this. It's too. Wanna's happy here and push it here. How far can I push? Okay. Does this look better? This looks better, right? Okay. Until I start my blueberry farm, I'm still just a night shift photolithography engineer in the semiconductor industry. In your time, shifts are normally 11 to 12:30. No live stream tonight, and oh, in my time it's 11 to oh, I see. Wow, I see now. Yeah, I guess not. I mean, tomorrow I have a meeting, online meeting, and my husband was like, "You're never, you're not gonna be allowed to be late." Like he was so strict. He made sure that I'm never late tomorrow. I'm not gonna be late tomorrow. So yes, if I wake up early, then I might, but I guess not. I'm doing this as in return, I guess. Mm. But that's so cool that you do all this like high tech thing, and then blueberry farm. That's like a total different thing that you're challenging. That's so cool. For photolithography. Wow. You're tired. Thank you though for coming and all this super chat. It really helps me. Thank you so much. And my husband is sleeping right now, but already, already, goes to sleep early. But he should be happy to see this. Thank you so much. Oh, Mark, thank you so much for super chat. Good evening, Yoko. Glad to be able to join your live stream for the first time. Oh, for the first time. Oh, cool. How have you and husband been with life and freedom activism? We've been good. Yes, and recently we have been working very hard on Mongolian issues. Mongolia, like southern part of it, which we call Southern Mongolia, which the world usually refers to as Inner Mongolia. The colonized parts of by China. And I'm friends with the Mongolians from there, and yeah, things are getting worse in Mongolia, like not just Southern Mongolia, but in like the independent Mongolia. So my husband and I have been we have been actively engaging in the activities regarding that with our Mongolian friends, and they came over to Tokyo recently. So we went to Tokyo, and we were basically there to let them see the National Diet members here. And also we took them to the tour of our National Diet building too. Like we usually go to the office part of National Diet buildings, like where the offices of National Diet members are. So there are three main buildings where all the offices are, and then across the street there's the National Diet building, which you usually see on the news. And so we took them there, and you can actually see inside a little bit. and it's for free too. So if you come to Japan, you should go visit too. But yeah, we did stuff like that, and then I also gave a lecture recently, like in my like a local area, and I was just introducing what I am up to, like just like I'm talking to you about right now. I give a lecture, and I'm like, oh, I've been doing this and that, and this is what's going on in the world, and so yes, things like that. So it's good that we have more and more allies. um I was working, like my husband and I, our project was heavily on Hong Kong, but as you know from the news today, Hong Kong situation is very bad, that we can't really touch Hong Kong anymore. So what we can do is to work on other nation states that are having the common problems. And also we, of course, if you look at Taiwan, it's very, that's the battlefront right now. So we are very alert about it. And yeah, we're just seeing what we can do and so on. So yeah, I can ramble forever, but thank you so much for your super chat. It really helps me. Oh, Gary, again, thank you. To answer your question, agents make up 7.3% of the USA. 7%. And are the second greatest tax contributors to the country after Europeans. Whoa. So what? So that means higher than black people? And then black people are prioritized over Asians. That doesn't that doesn't make sense. If you rather prioritize Asians, then they would contribute to your country more as for economy. Wow. And what's interesting is that I think that I saw Vivek Ramaswamy, on Twitter. He said that it's not like, firstly, it's like, the generation has been like, it's the second or third, like the immigration generation has been like, so it's a long time ago, and it's not applied to today. Those black people today that go to universities, um they're born in the US, so the situation is different. And then another thing that he said was that, did he say? I forgot. That was the bigger thing that I always try to translate, and then I get distracted and I forget. But man, I'll remember soon. But also, I saw D'Souza, doctor. Is he a doctor? D'Souza. He's an Indian blooded man in America, and he was part of the, I believe was behind Trump's foreign policy regarding China, if I remember correctly. My memory is fading. But yeah, he was talking about how agents are actually, agents, like a yellow supremacy is something that, yeah, agents earn, instead of to be given. So of course, Indian blooded guy would say that, but yeah. Hmm. Man, what did Lamaswamy say? I'm like distracted by my own explanation. Mm. Let's see. ようこさん、こんばんは。今日も綺麗好き。お、ありがとうございます。美しくありたいですね。どうやったら美しくなりますかね。年にはかないません。Let's see. Let's read Tony's comments. For the most right-winged French, they want the army to kill them. Whoa. 90% of the right wing wants them to be killed. The last 10% want to re-immigrate them to Algeria. Let's see. Yeah, guten Morgen, but it's already afternoon. I see. Nachmittag. It's hard. It's so hard. Rioters and looters. Yeah. Morning in America, as Ronald Reagan would say. He would say that? I don't know that thing. If they had a real concern, they would protest in front of the government building, but they loot and destroy places. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, like in politics, you take actions in front of like the meaningful place or at the meaningful time, right? Just randomly, vandalizing places doesn't mean the same. Hmm. Migrants and refugees protesting by looting shoes from stores. That's so wrong, right? Yeah, that doesn't sound like a protest to me at all. And uh, we have a word for it, kajiba dorobo. Kajiba dorobo. Do you guys know that? Japanese kajiba dorobo. Just a fire thief. Just literally fire thief. A looter at a fire. Yeah, we have an expression like that. It's literally looter at a fire. Oh, super chat! Thank you so much. Would you be interested in teaching your fans some Japanese? I've noticed a lot of polyglot YouTubers dabbing in that lately. Huh? What is polyglot? Oh, many languages. Oh, I see. I could do that, yes. I can't teach English to Japanese people, but I can certainly teach Japanese to foreign people, I think. Uh, let's see. Man, what did I say? Oh, sorry for the noise. I have my phone here. I'm really bothered by what Vivek Ramaswamy said. If I can find from here, Vivek. Hmm, it's weird. I should be able to find from my profile because I tweeted about it. Vivek Ramaswamy. Why? Rate limit exceeded. Why? Because I'm using the internet. Doesn't let me show. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna read. Mm. Paris Intramuros is still safe. The police officer have one order. They let the looters the suburb, but if they try to come into Paris Intramuros, I can't read. They have to shoot with their firearms. Let's see. Germany has a major advantage over unintegrated immigrant groups hate each other more than they hate us. That's good. That's good. Hmm. Yeah, race. I was looking at the news coverage of Taiwan today. You know, about like basically, Taiwanese people, of course, they're all like, whether they're on the right side or on the left side, they see the threats coming from China, but there are like Taiwanese people who whose parents or grandparents, that came from Chinese mainland, like they are not like Taiwanese that were there from a long time ago, but they are basically immigrants, from China to Taiwan. And so those people have a different identity and they think differently. So I see stuff like that too. And I wonder why. Like, it's like if they are like Chinese minded people, then they are not Taiwanese, they are Chinese. And I'm like, why are we using the lingo to refer to them as if they were Taiwanese? Like, that's something that I am not like happy with. Like, I don't feel good about it. Hmm. For affirmative action, the reaction has been very partisan. Democrats are claiming that it's racist against black students. I know they are saying that. It's so weird. Even Biden is not like he's not welcoming that. Doesn't make sense at all. And isn't it weird because he's a rich guy, right? And his son was doing like business with China or Ukraine. Like, when his father was the vice president of Obama administration, and so like they use all this type of like power, and they abuse the power and so on, and they are prioritized, and they openly say that they are against this constitutional judgment by the Supreme Court. And the constitution just shows the equality, like true equality, and the affirmative action is against it. So that's what they're saying. And then those who are violating laws and all this equality stuff are accusing it for not being equal. I mean, kind of makes sense, I guess. It's kind of coherent because they are, they like the system that someone gets prioritized, by the rule. So maybe it's just how they think. I don't know. It's weird. Democrats never talk about the Asians who won their case and they weren't even seeking special treatment. Democrats' racism against Asians is on full display. Yeah, that's a true racism right there, because Asians don't become votes. It's as simple as that, I think. The black people, like the slavery and everything, like if the Democrat politicians, if they talk about racism, slavery, and black people, like that sort of words, if they say that, then they somehow get votes. But when let's say they speak on Asians and they cannot get votes that way because Asians just work their ass off and they can just earn what they need to earn. And it's not like it's interesting though, because like for example, I've repeatedly said that I used to watch this Korean American woman's YouTube channel, and she's definitely a Democrat, attending in the Women's March and so on, and she hated Trump and blah blah blah. But I wonder why she thinks of this. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand how the left side's thought process is wired. Hmm. So anyway, oh, thank you for super chat again. Oh yeah, are you celebrating the 4th of July? I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah. Oh, but so for wow, no, I should be free. Yeah. um, maybe I should do something. Like, oh man, celebration. I haven't done that in forever, I feel. Like I'm always dead serious, Even I play games, like COD Mobile. I'm like dead serious and like competing against teenager boys. I'm like, die! Right? I do that. I'm bad. Anyway. Mm, 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 mm. American and Black people have internalized the idea that they are always oppressed, just like 10% voted for Trump, and that was already a massive increase. Yeah. It's, yeah. Like when you think about it, the Republicans have good, like, Black politicians too. And like, how do the left, like Democrat type of Black people, how do they see the Republican Black people? It's something that I can't get a sense of, from Japan. Uh, interesting, interesting. Man, speaking of which, like sometimes I don't get my own people too, though, because when it comes to Russia, I know that the American conservatives or right wings, they they want to drop the war. But as for Japan, Russia has been our enemy for such a long time. Historically, Russia has been our enemy and still is, because they have illegally took our territories, and they have like towards the end of the World War II too. Like they raped our people, our women, and many got pregnant too, and they either committed a suicide or illegally got abortions and so on. Like lots of awful records, you know, are showing the horrible history. And still today, like our northern islands are still taken over by Russia, and they also invade into our airspace and also our oceans. And so I'm like, personally, I'm really considering Russia as our enemy. However, there are especially like online type of people, that are only speaking, like they talk the talk but never walk the talk type of people, online. Those right wing people, they are somehow pro Putin, and they've been like that for a couple of years now. I think it's a couple or several years now, that somehow they have this picture that Putin is the good guy fighting against globalism and blah blah blah, with Trump. And I'm like, what are you talking about? you know and there are some propagandists here in Japan, who used to be a diplomat, and he has leaved, but he is spreading the Russian propaganda to Japanese people in Japanese, and he has published books in Japanese too. And he often comments online or something like that. So people are very much easily deceived, and there are lots of supporters for Russia for some reason from the right side, and it just doesn't make sense, especially considering our history, that our ancestors, I mean, not like our ancestors, but like our people, like before us, they fought against Russia, and they won in early 1900. And also in the World War II, they fought, sacrificing themselves, their life. And if you are on the right side from Japan, then you're supposed to be on their side, not the Russia side. But somehow that's how it is here. And I'm so annoyed by that sort of people. Doesn't even have common sense. And the thing about Putin is, though, is that you could see it that way, that the of course, like, Putin probably doesn't like all sorts of globalism and that sort of things, because not because he's a conservative or right wing, but because he is only caring about his position, as a mafia, the top of the mafia country. But people just somehow don't get that, and it's frustrating. But anyway, California's population was 34.7% non-Hispanic whites, 5.7% African American, Asian 16, 1%. Mm, eh, oh, okay. There was a dark-skinned Indian who only got to medical university because he said he was black. He said he was black. Wow, man. The term diet is used for the wage MPs get paid in Germany. Huh, interesting. Try to see Marxism in everything. Those are tribals' reactions. They see their groups and the others. And France and the French aren't part of their tribe. The the same mechanism to why mape support not held by zero words for Lola. Oh man, I'm not familiar, so I don't understand. But thank you for your comment. Sorry, I need to study more about what's going on in France. Hmm. Is Rahm Emanuel still pushing his agenda in Japan? Yes. Yes, he's actively tweeting, like with a concept, con, what's the word? The tone, to look down on others. Condescending tone. Yes, he's like he's a racist, man. Rahm Emanuel is a racist. He's a racist, and he looks down on Japanese people. Like I guess just generally Asians, probably. Like he probably looks down on Asian people. That's the impression that I get. And he's like, he just behaves like he is there to, guide the stupid Japanese, because that's how he writes on Twitter. It's really annoying. I'm like, he's here, like, but he's a typical liberal, though. Like, I've been friends with lots of kinds of foreigners in Japan, and I have friends just like him before, like until 10 years ago or so, from the UK, from Canada. Like, they were here, like, locally, in my prefecture. I used to hang out with them, but just, they think that sort of like liberal people somehow look at Japan as if Japan is just a country, with nothing in it but the except for the infrastructure and the business and so on, and they don't care about the history or the tradition or actual culture, except for like a business type of culture. I don't know what to call it in English, but they just don't get it. And lots of conservatives, including the National Diet members and also the the opinion leaders or professors and so on, they're actively criticizing Ram Emanuel. Yes, so at least that's good that, like, I was the first, like the very first in Japan, the entire Japan, to criticize Ram Emanuel for what he is saying on Twitter. Like, people, I don't think people knew about him, you know, but now people care, and now, like, people see the problem. He's interfering in Japanese politics, and also the attitude that he has is very wrong. So, did you see that the US based IRL streamer Ice Poseidon got arrested while visiting in Thailand for cross dressing? No. What is IRL? IRL. In real life? In real life streamer? Sorry. Hi from Kanagawa. Whoa, hi from 20 minutes ago. Sorry. I'm a slow reader. Also live. Yes. A big part of Taiwanese civil war refugees from the mainland. Yes. Also the leaders in politics. Yes. Man, what's gonna happen? Taiwan's election, is it next year in January? It's Taiwan first and then the US, right? Like, lots of elections. I wrote somewhere the schedule. Where did I write? It's not on my phone. Oh, it's in my presentation that I gave. I believe it's the Taiwan. Huh? Here is in my. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Taiwan election, like the leader election, is January next year, and then in November, on November 5th, it's the U.S. presidential election. Oh, but next year in April, is it the South Korean election? South Korea is the country that you have to pay attention to. They are the key player now. South Korea is very cooperative with Japan and the US, economically and also militarily, and it's a very good shift. And I believe that the current Yoon administration, is bashed by the left massively. Like, that's something that I picture. But the administration is very stable when it comes to policies, and it's very good. And I feel like South Koreans now see the actual threat. It's not the Japan, like they were for a long time haunted by the picture of Japanese army and so on, that they were haunted by the past. But now they see clearly what's happening, the like how dangerous China is to them even, and they are very cooperative, and it's good. I feel like the generation is changing. But the problem is that, like South Korea is obviously changing. Japan is trying to change, gradually, but still, like, our leaders are very old, very, they're elderly people and not young people. Our voices are not reflected. And same for America, I feel. I mean, the leftists are loud, but look at Biden. He's old and he is having like all these health issues, but he's still the leader of the US. And something's wrong with Japan and the US. Our leaders are so old compared to other countries. And that's part of the problem, I feel. Hello, Yoko-san. Did you change the live stream time? For now. For now. Because I'm always late, so I'm trying out like a different time. Thanks for coming, though. Thank you. Thank you for coming. There's lots of crimes against Asians in Democrat-ruled cities too. Republicans keep offering to help Asians arm themselves for self-defense. Yeah. This one problematic religious group, based in America. It's a South Korean religion, but it's a Christian group. But the leaders of the Christian group have a picture of them holding guns. So I can easily like picture stuff like that. Yeah. But what's interesting, like my husband and I often look at the news and laugh about something, and that is the what Texas and Florida did for New York. You know, all these immigrants, illegal immigrants flooding into Texas and Florida, and they sent all these immigrants to New York with buses. Like, oh, you said that you are welcoming all these people, right? And they just do that. And that's just fascinating. That's the right way to do politics, you know? Because you just have to show them, I guess. And the people are furious, right? Like local people, they feel threatened. I'm like, of course, you don't want outsiders, especially those who can't even, obey the rules coming to your cities. You don't want that. It's dangerous. Like common sense. Hmm. Paris, the center of Paris, where the elites. Oh, I see. That's like Wall Street of America, maybe. Small area where the parliament and other administrations. Oh, I see. Democrats viciously slander black Republicans. The favorite insult is to call them an Uncle Tom from the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin. Wow. Isn't it? When I see black people in America succeeding, I'm like, whichever side they are, I feel like congratulating them, like coming from the difficult situations, yeah. And I wonder why they can't be like, for a second you have to forget about politics, and also you have to be coherent of what you're always insisting. And if you believe the black people, for example, should succeed in America, like American dream, then those who achieve that, you should celebrate them. But the people on the left side, they are very picky, and they don't they don't follow their own words, and that's weird to me. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like it's all about the position talk. Is it English, or is it like Japanglish position talk? They're just talking from their position, and it's not about what they're actually saying, I feel. Hello, Yoko. Hello. On the daytime here, yes. Oh, it's daytime. Can't calculate the time. It's night here, so isn't it in the morning? Is it daytime? Oh, but you call it daytime. Hmm. Okay. You're not pro Putin. I just don't like Zelensky or the Ukraine because the US politicians use the Ukraine to launder their money. That's part of the picture, I think. But what's tricky about Ukraine, is that this is gonna be like an example in history, in history, to like it's gonna be like just like how it goes with the courts, one case is closed and that example becomes the premise, in the future. And just like that, this Ukraine case is how we handle will become the base for the future, especially when it comes to Taiwan. So we are now, it's not, it is about Ukraine, but at the same time, we are creating this premise for the future. And that's why, we are all going in, whether you're on the left side or the right side, in like globally. At least that's the perspective from Japan. And because we all know that one country cannot sustain itself anymore, whether you're on our free world side or the authoritarian regime side. Like we all have to stand together, right? And so if we don't help, and if we are not coherent, then when we are in danger, then others will not help too. So like we are, of course, each country is independent and so on, but we have to help each other, for the future, because we have to be in this together so that we can win. And also when we are like attacked and so on, we can help each other. And yeah, we just need to win somehow in Ukraine, and it's not going to be easy because Putin, of course, is threatening using the nuclear bomb, nuclear weapons. And that just sucks. But just like you see with the Prigozhin situation, Russia might, especially the Putin regime, might collapse from within, like nobody could see the Soviet Union will collapse, but it did. And just like that Putin regime right now, it could collapse, and I'm pretty sure that Xi Jinping is watching very closely, as if it's his situation, because it's a great example for him, to what may come to him. Because Putin has been in power for such a long time now, too, just like Xi Jinping. And Xi Jinping, of course, is like how he forms his regime has changed too. So yeah, using Putin as an example too. うん。ともやまさん、ありがとうございます。なんか懐かしいな。ありがとうございます。また、日本語でもやります。多分。ありがとうございます。心配ですね、日本は本当に。うん。Let's see. Hi, Yoko. It's sad what is happening in France. The radical Islamists are rising in Europe. Are they? I hope Japan don't make the same mistakes that Europeans did there with their pro-immigration policies. I feel like what's her name? The former leader of Germany, Merkel. Merkel. She was bad. I think that she's responsible, for all this immigration policies. Because Germany, for some reason, is the leader of the whole European politics. I feel like it's France, but at the same time, but it's rather Germany. Germany's presence somehow is strong, and I watched the documentary about Germany kind of recently, and it was about back in the day, when Merkel was just a girl and she was inspired by this singer and blah blah, and it was interesting. But I feel like her background really affected her policies. Like she probably mixed up a lot of her childhood memories with the current policies, and she made a lot of mistakes. Am I reading very slowly? I hope not. Getting rid of Roe and Wade affirmative action. We should thank Trump for his 3 Supreme Court picks. Yes, I agree. Trump did such an amazing thing. But at the same time, when it comes to Ukraine, that I read that, like, I saw this Ukrainian guy in Japan. He is fluent in Japanese and so on, and very, is he a scholar? I think he's a scholar. Very smart, like very intellectual. There's this very intellectual Ukrainian guy in Japan, writing books in Japanese too, and he's basically spreading, Ukrainian information or propaganda in Japan, and we are thankful for him though. But yeah, I saw his tweet recently, and it was about Trump and how Trump made a comment saying that, in order to end the war, I think it was in the context of, in order to end the war, maybe Ukraine should give a little bit of their land to Russia so that it will end or some sort. And the Ukrainian guy was like, no way, right? Like, that's not how it works in politics. And that's such an amateur way of thinking, to give something to your enemy. You should never ever give anything to your enemy. But Trump is not like that because he's a business minded person. So, and when it comes to that, I'm with the Ukrainian guy. That when it comes to Russia, like, even I don't want Ukraine to give anything to Putin. Like, never ever compromise. But as for America, it's a different story, I guess. So, like, I can kind of see where Trump is coming from, but if Trump, like, see, here's the thing, that if Trump thinks like that, oh, maybe, it's a very amateur way. I have to say, I don't want to say it like that, but I have to say, if Trump is like insists that Ukraine should give their land a little bit of their land to Russia, then what if it's about Japan? What if Trump says, like, oh, maybe Japan should give Senkaku Islands to China a little, and then and the all the dispute and blah blah blah. What if he said that? We would not be happy with it. We will be very furious. You should never ever give your land to your political opponents or enemies that are militarily invading in your country. Never ever 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 ever. So yeah, because it's not about the land, like, for example, what was it, like, Crimea. It's not only about the land, it's about how they can militarily use the place, the ports and so on. So politics has all this, like, different set of things that come with it. So I hope that Trump would see that. Let's be fair, all European leaders from the last 2 decades have been terrible, not just America. That's true, I guess. That's true. Right. Yeah. Currently, Macron is doing better than I thought, though, like, when it comes to national security. So that's good. But I feel like it's like, because China is rising and also Putin is going out of hand, I feel like the Europe is getting kind of better. At least that's how I feel from Japan. Yeah, and the Italian leader is very based too, it seems. Man, that's a problem though. That I always feel that European people in general, not just the leaders, but Europeans in general, I they're not interested in Asia, or they're not familiar with Asian issues, and I personally feel kind of upset or frustrated, right? But then look at me, like, I have no idea about Europe, you know? I don't know how they're like my husband, for example, he is very like he collects all kinds of information, reads the newspaper, like all the newspaper and online platform, and he asks people. So like he knows a bunch of things. But when it comes to me, like I don't know about Europe, like what kind of parties there are and the history that comes with it, and like I'm not familiar. So I can't talk bad about European people because I'm the same, right? So we need to do something about it. Macron good. When it comes to national security, as I said, not about the social welfare or whatsoever, I am not familiar with it. I'm saying that it's France has gained more presence, at least here in East Asia. So that's good. Militarily, they're engaging in Indo-Pacific, which I didn't see before. So that's good. But I guess that it's not about Macron, it's just France in general. Um, it happens here too. Like right now, our leader is Kishida, and our national security has been improving, be very cooperative with other countries, and also we are revising our system and budget, and it's the move that we never saw before. So that's good, but it's not Kishida's power. It's just our allies and just how things are going right now with the common threats in the world. So yes, just how it is. Hmm. When it Tony, when it comes to France, like where can I find information? Like what kind of, like for example, what kind of news source and so on do you recommend if there's any, or who to follow and so on? The war extended this long because Biden and Boris Johnson wouldn't let Zelensky meet with Putin. Many Russians and Ukrainians would still be alive. You think so? But Putin is not the kind of person that you can talk to, though. I think that, I don't know, in my personal opinion, this is my opinion, just opinion, but I feel like dictators like Putin and Xi Jinping, they just have the dream, they have their dream to have their empire and be the top, the like they want to be in the spot that nobody can interfere, like very absolute, very, very big boss of the empire, they want to be kings. And like they are living in this like completely different world, it's a mafia country, mafia nation. When it comes to, like, for example, Putin versus Borjigin, no, Borjigin, not Borjigin, Prigozhin, um like it's like basically like what we Japanese sensed from that picture was like what's going on with Putin and Prigozhin were like, oh, that's like Yakuza. And that was that was our Japanese reaction, My husband and I, we were watching the news about Prigozhin. I'm like, okay, Putin is this and that. Oh, okay, so they were close. Okay, and then Prigozhin was a cook, and then formed that company. Okay, yeah, we were watching, and then now like Prigozhin's team, the company were gonna become Putin's, and then he wants to keep that, it's his legacy. And then there's this complication, right, that we all saw just recently, and we're like, oh, that's Yakuza, like very mafia, it's not. And then what, like both are saying that those are not the conversations that you hear from politicians that's something that you hear from mafia type of people. So it's like completely different place, in my opinion. Hmm. Hmm. Ukraine should give what was already agreed in 2014. That was an agreement that America helped create. The issue is that Tony mentioned those were Russian territories and people there are Russian. Mm. He just said the French culture doesn't exist and he's doing everything he can to make France weaker. You only have to say his name during a meeting for people to shout Macron dimension death Macron. Huh. For national security, he is trying to destroy the salt system and he sold our nuclear reactor blueprint to the US and other foreign power. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Hmm. Don't recommend any good official newspaper because they are massively paid by the government. They are not separate from the government. That's interesting. Which reminds me, I am very grateful by the system of the US that there is a clear separation of power, in the US. Like looking at like I'm going back and forth between the topics, but when it comes to affirmative action, it's like the Supreme Court came with this good judgment, right? And Biden is opposing. So it's like the power, different power, very like the powers are separated, and it's now I understand like when I learned that separation of power, is it like a executive power, legislative power, and judicial power. So like those three powers are separate, and I didn't see the point back in like elementary school or junior high school, when I learned in school, like it didn't make sense to me, but now I get it. Oh, it's very important because it could be abused. Hmm. You gotta watch closely to each other. Mm, 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 mm. Anyway, it's been an hour. It's 1 a.m. here. Ukraine isn't any different from Russia. I mean, Ukraine was part of Soviet Union, and but like, there's no point in saying stuff like that. We need to think about the current picture and what the current situation is making. So, like, if you start saying stuff like that, then I gotta stop working with the US. You know, America, man, historically, there was the US committed lots of massacres in Japan. Like, it's on a historical level. But we are just quiet, because it's just not right. The war is over and we lost. Whatever America did to us, we lost, right? End of story. And Americans, of course, like patriots, try to compare, oh, Japan did this and that to us in a sneak attack, blah blah blah. And there are stories like that, but it's like, to us, you can't even compare. And there are stuff like that, and so so if you look back in history, and if you start caring about, oh, but America was this and that, like, then we can't do anything together. So anyway, huh? This is a surprising time anyway. Yeah, it's a surprising time, I know. Hi. Anyway, Yoko, have you heard of, I wonder why my husband doesn't shut the door of the bathroom when he pees. Anyway, there's some reason. Have you heard about BlackRock CEO? BlackRock backing away from ESG, they were guilty of mass inside trading, which pushed all the woke crap in our companies. Oh, no, I don't even know BlackRock. 음,資産運用ならブラックロック。はあ、何の会社？資産運用とリスクマネジメント。へえ。Okay. Interesting. So there's a move like that. Well, the most formal AFP. Oh yeah, we can read the AFP. Yeah. And I should pay attention to Europe more. That's the take from this live stream today. Yeah. Like, of course I don't understand French language. So Macron will never lose his banker mentality, huh? All we Japanese know is that isn't Macron married to like a way older woman or something like that? I feel like Japanese people, like when Japanese TV, it's a TV's fault. But Japanese TV shows focus on weird things like the backgrounds, what kind of things that people are into, like politicians are into, like Joe Biden, for example, loves ice cream. That's what our TV shows focus on, because it's just how Japanese people are, that we are very interested in the background and so on, and you know in a very on a personal level of things. Mm. I see lots of French output. I see. I guess I need to learn French. Oh, super chat. I just noticed super chat. Ukrainians are much more closely related to Russians. Head pat your husband more, he deserves. Thank you. I should pat him. Yes. He deserves it. And the belly rub too. Sometimes I have to scratch his back. No joke, like true story. I don't know what it is about him, but it gets itchy, on the back somehow. And I'm like, with a towel, I'm like, he's a big doggy. Finish my morning over here. Sounds good. BlackRock and Vanguard are large fund companies. Man, I need to get more information about Europe and also about economy. When it comes to economy, I have no idea. That's the bad part of Japanese conservatives. Not just me, I'm just a typical Japanese conservative. And at least like Japanese conservatives now know that we need to somehow, pay less tax money. We are inspired by American conservatives that seek for small government, because like Japan is, like around the World War II, Japan was actually influenced by socialism. So that's why, we have lots of transportation system, like a good transportation system throughout Japan, and the big highways that connects all the prefectures, and also we have health insurance to everybody, and we have all this socialist policies here, like that. And yeah, it's good, but when it comes, and because of that, even the patriots back then were influenced by socialists. So so the Japanese conservatives are always fighting against all this war guilt, just like white people are fighting with like white guilt. Japanese people are fighting with war guilt, that we are war criminals, we are labeled as war criminals. And so Japanese conservatives are fighting against that image that are brought up by the left in China and so on. And while we do that, during the process, we justify, Japanese conservatives justify our people around the World War II, even though they were influenced by socialists. So Japanese conservatives, as a result, Japanese conservatives are praising all these like socialist type of policies too. And then so and that's the premise or foundation of Japanese conservatives ideas, right? So then what happens is that when it comes to the economy today, there are lots of conservatives that believe that we should pay lots of tax to sustain our country and so on, because that's what our former generations were doing to make our country prosper and so on. So then, but that's the country doing or paying for everything, that is only like giving us all the burdens economically. And then there are this new like conservative people that are waking up to what's really happening, including me. Like I believe that we should pay less tax and so on, but it's very like the minority, of among the conservatives. But the conservatives itself, the community is the minority of the Japan, like Japan as a country. So we are having such a hard time. Anyway. Mm, 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 mm. 40-year old apart? What? Japan can be extremely weird. No offense. No offense. I get that. It's a weird country. Didn't an assassination keep Japan from going a socialist? Oh, you mean that the young guy stabbing the leader of the Socialist Party? No. Mm-mm. When it comes to Japan, we have Tenno, which who you may call as emperor. So we are our sense is that we are a big family. Japanese people, like Japan is a big family that are living in this island nation, right? Like we all look the same, and we are. Japan is actually not small, it's the magic of the map, like how the map is drawn. But we are always told like, oh, Japan is a small island country. So we have the image. And yeah, so what happens to when it comes to the family idea, wait, I'm getting tired. So I'm getting distracted. Oh yeah, socialist. So we're like a big one family, so we believe that everybody is equal, and that we should treat each other nicely because we are one big family, right? So the socialism idea and our traditional cultural values actually match, because socialism, we it's the same, the country is there and the society will own you, basically. So it's basically, the picture is pretty much the same, right? Like, it's the big one big family, and we will treat everybody equally, and it's something along that line. So I guess that we are comfortable with it. The problem, though, is that my husband and I were actually discussing this today, but all this transportation, for example, which like AOC would push, that we have all this transportation that AOC would dream of. Every prefecture we have all these trains and buses that run on time, like not a minute late. It's always on time, and it's our system is very, very good. The planes are there, of course, and but the roads and everything is working very well. But because like we built everything right after the World War II, like we everything was burnt down, and then we built all that transportation and so on. But it's been what, how many years now, like decades later, it's getting older, and then we have to repair, right, or rebuild or fix or what our former generation had built, and we can't afford it, you know we just can't, and that has been a problem. And also when it comes to like countryside and so on, the train stations, some there are, it's not some, I think that there are many transportation stations, like train stations are not even used by the locals anymore. And then so we want to get rid of that so we can get rid of the maintenance fees. I mean, it's on the private level, so it's a company that pays to the train stations. But still, like, when you think about on a country level, like there are lots of expense that we need to pay, right? But so like we have to repicture what to do. And also our population is changing, so as you see on the news, there are lots of vacant houses here, the in especially like in a rural area, and so like lots of problems. Anyway, should I go soon? I think so. Like I'm getting sleepy. It's 1:30 now. Thank you so much for coming, guys. Yeah, 对 Yamaguchi, right? You're using his name, so yeah. うん。よくおはよう。I mean, technically, it's in the morning. This is my black beans tea with Luibos. I don't know how to say that in English. Whew. Okay. Anyway. Bio. Yoko, my cat is meowing you to the screen. Meow. Yeah, but I should get some sleep now. It's like I feel you guys. I always, speak to you in daytime, and then you guys are sleepy and some just give up and go to sleep. So I can get a sense now. Like, okay, I'm like, yeah, I wanna stay, but I'm like, uh, yeah, yeah. I need to reach out to many people too. So I really need to think of how to do my live stream. So I'm just testing new times. Maybe I should raise my frequency of my live stream. And I am just brainstorming, and also I'll be probably trying many different things for a while. But bear with me, please. Yes, I need to make a living. So, yeah, finally I am, getting better physically. So, yeah, and also I'm back in art this way. Art. So I should sell my art too. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I think you post a lot on Patreon? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, so like including that, I need to think of what to do. I might be using Discord soon, but it's through a Japanese service which I'm thinking of, and that will guide people to Discord. So then I'm like, before those like non-Japanese speakers cannot, like, it could probably be difficult for them to get in. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know. Oh, sleepy. Okay. Hmm. I should go. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I really appreciate every single one of you. And thanks for all the comments. Sorry I couldn't catch everything, but I really appreciate, your perspective and so on. That's very stimulating. Like, we don't always have to, agree to everything, but at least like we just acknowledge, like we just, like, what's the word? Like we just need to know each other, like where we stand. So that's a good. I think that conversations like this is very important. I think what's important is that, oh, somebody's right or wrong. It's not about somebody being right or wrong. It's about knowing where people stand, coming from their background, what it means to be patriotic, or what it means to be conservative, or what it means to stand for their ground, and what do they mean by saying this and that. So all this understanding really, really helps, and something that I cannot get from our newspaper and so on. So I really appreciate your input. Thank you so much for coming and all your comments. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I guess I could share that. Yes. Yeah, I guess that I could do that. So there should be a link, right? Like that I can share with the limited people. So, hmm, how would do that? I think first I need to launch the Japanese version though, and then work on a Patreon. I think. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys. Oh, Yasumi. Thank you. Good to know that you know Japanese. Rest well and take care. How you faring on Truth Social? I need to post more on Truth Social. I'm happy though, just by being able to read what Trump has to say. Uh, do some conservative weeb art, and I bet a lot of people in the states will buy. That's I need some inspiration for that. Like I don't exactly know what it would be. Yeah. I should maybe I should draw Trump. It's difficult though. Take care. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Oh gosh, I can't read. Thank you though. ありがとうございます。Yeah. Trump as a shonen character. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess I will be brainstorming what I could draw. I usually just draw out of nowhere, like I don't even know what I'm about to draw and I do the abstract art, but I could try new things, I guess. Good night, Yoko. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much. And if you haven't, please subscribe to this channel. Also, share with your friends and families about this channel and let them join, and have a conversation with me in Japan. Maga would definitely buy that. Yeah, I'll think about it. Thanks for your idea. It's really helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I hope you guys have a great day or night. Thank you so much. And if you're watching me later, I don't know, give me super thanks. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you sometime soon. I'm so random. I don't even know where I'm gonna come back, but thank you. Okay, good night. Bye.